people? Cornastore podcast. Subscribe, like, comment, and share the content. We got a repeat guest on the show. We got Mr. Cheap Buddha. How you doing, brother?
Hello. How you doing?
Shit, I'm good, man. You wanted to kind of record some content on a subject that was kind of dear to your heart. So go ahead and shoot, man.
Okay. So I want to talk about a subject that not many people talk about.
Mm-hmm.
No, they talk about gay men and being down low brothers, but they don't talk about gay women who are down low sisters. And they're all around, and no one really talks about them. They don't act like they exist, but they do. Any heterosexual woman on this earth who doesn't want to have sex with a gay man, I mean, they talk bad about the down low brothers, the undercover gay guys, the ones who are having sex with men and then having sex with them on the down low. But they don't talk about the women.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just as many women out here doing the same thing, just so they can have children. And it's not right on either spectrum. I believe that if you are gay, asexual, bisexual, whatever you want to call it, you should let your partner know your sexual behaviors, because they affect people in a lot of different ways. When it comes to disease, when it comes to a lot of these down low sisters, they'll get pregnant and act like they're, straight with you for a while. And they always get you around that age of 5, 6, 7 years old, when that child still doesn't really understand what's going on. And then all of a sudden, the father's gone.
So you're speaking from experience.
Oh, no doubt.
Okay.
They'll start a fight with you. They'll accuse you of things that you haven't done just so they can get away from you, because now they have that baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple years later, they'll start dating women again, which is what they used to do before they met the man.
Yeah.
And a lot of children know that this is going on because they live in same-sex households now.
Yeah.
So, it's like men need to be aware. They need to ask these women, do you like women? And it's kind of like a trick question, because they'll be like, oh, no, I don't like women. Be careful out there. Men, be careful out there. Some of these women out here having sex with you, faking relationships, just so they can have your child, and then take you down to the child support office, and then tell your child that you ain't shit.
So you have no issue with women. You basically have no issue with women who wants to kind of like do that type of behavior, like just for fun, just for experimentations. But as far as just doing that behavior specifically just to kind of get a baby from a man and then do a bait and switch and end up just being lesbian full time and taking that man for child support and other type of resources and social services and stuff like that.
All kind of different things like that.
Yeah.
Look, you can't tell me that a gay woman who is raising their child with another gay woman, that they weren't gay before that happened, but they still need that one precious little sperm cell to get pregnant. And they know this. So some of these women, beware men, will act like they're straight just so they can get your milk for free.
I
So
thought
they
it
can
was
get
kind of odd. I thought it was kind of odd. Like I got Facebook friends. I'm not gonna say any names, but like butch lesbians, like all of a sudden having kids. I'm like, where did this come from?
right.
I'm like, damn.
I mean, look, I've had, I've had, I've been in relationships with women in the past who have had multiple women, lesbians in their family, and the fathers are not active in their families.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, one in particular um, was with the woman, and then all of a sudden that relationship kind of ceased. And then she was dating a man. And I'll never forget this guy. He was a short little guy. He had two little, well, actually two big pit bulls. So he was like that masculine type of dude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he thought he had a woman, but he was actually with a lesbian woman who wanted to have children.
Mm.
And you know, I remember going to a picnic on the west side of Chicago, and they were talking about, oh yeah, they're going to get married, and she's pregnant. I'm still like, wait a second. Last year we went to a party where it was a bunch of lesbian girls up in the house.
Mm.
It's the setup. Men, be aware of the setup. I've been set up twice in my life, and it's some bullshit. You know, if a real lesbian don't have kids, real gay people don't have children because they know they can't reproduce, and they've accepted that as their part of life. But then you got all these other people out here who be trying to act like they something, but they still want to have kids and steal your children from you, your sperm cells from you, and then take you
So,
down to the courthouse and everything else.
so what you think about gay couples adopting kids? What's your stance on that?
I have no stance on that. That's not in my lane.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's not in my lane.
Okay. Well, as far as the whole like down low thing, I remember like hearing about it in the '90s. You know, I was like a teenager in high school, and I used to kind of see it on talk shows like Ricky Lake, you know, Oprah, Sally Jesse Raphael. You know, I mean, pretty much all the time on daytime TV, and honestly, there's no way to quantify like the actual stat, the actual number as far as like down low men, but it was just these women for the most part complain about how there's like a it's like an epidemic of down low men. That's why they can't find a good man because like a lot of men are on the down low, which is, I mean, I think it's a bullshit excuse because they can't find a good man. I mean, at the end of the day, the way that for the most part, most inner city women kind of like pair bond with like the worst aspects of dudes. I mean, some of these dudes are in and out of jail, and most likely these guys have been encountering that type of behavior within the jails. About time they get out, then they just you know having sex with heterosexual women. So that's probably why they're catching HIV/AIDS because black women they actually led that stat as far as the like the fastest growing population or demographic to like contract HIV and AIDS. So, but yeah, it was just a big propaganda machine that was going pretty much on the side of black women, talking about how there's like a lot of down low men. But as far as women, I mean, they could switch it and they won't have that scarlet letter at all. I mean, they could kind of like go with men, go with women, go with men. I mean, no one really wouldn't care. But if a man was to do it, not, now that I'm advocating for men to not have that scarlet letter, I mean, I really don't care. But I just wanted to, as far as in the public relations, just to it be more equal. But as far as me, I really don't care regardless. So but
Right. Well, I mean, I can say this about that. Women are not held accountable for their actions as much as men are. When it comes to many things, you know, they're looked at as being feminine, pretty, innocent. You know, they can't do anything wrong. Really? If you're having sex with a man, but you really want to be with one man, why are you messing with men? Why aren't you with the one man because that woman can't give you a baby like the man can. And they know that.
I mean, like a man comes with protection and the ability to provide because men in general have more resources, a higher net worth than women do. So it would behoove a woman to pair bond with the best available man that they can get as far as their sexual market value, and then just live happily ever after. But today people living in this social media age in which our lifestyles are pretty much kind of on display for like people to see, and people just want to. Well, for the most part, women are playing the hypergamy game, so they're gonna always go for the highest bidder. I mean, I'm cool with that, but as far as the way that our community, for the most part, is living this carefree lifestyle, and there's
And,
no man in households.
but it's not, but it's not carefree. If it was carefree, then you would be truthful about your sexuality from the beginning. But a lot of women, they hide their sexuality from men.
When I say carefree, I'm talking about having a disregard for the consequences of your actions.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, how many women have been charged with stealing their children away from men? How many of them have been, how many men have gotten um, custody of their children just because they could provide more for their children? It doesn't happen.
Yeah, the court systems. I mean, they say that lady justice is equal, but as far as like family court, I mean, it seemed like that their business model was to take the woman's side, put put whatever man on paper, so that way that man will be, like by law, paying child support because the whole family court. I mean, they get billions of dollars pretty much every single year just because of all the money is being laundered through the government, and then the woman gets her cut and the government get their cut.
Right, yeah, because they get a cut. They get a nice cut too.
Yeah,
And that's why they're not trying to stop it. You
yeah. I
know,
mean,
I
it
mean,
make no sense not to. I mean, man, just gotta be careful and to not put themselves in a peculiar situation. So, but yeah, I mean, I would hold man accountable. Just make sure that if you're gonna be knocking down chicks, make sure that you protect yourself
right.
at all times. And
All the time.
right, I know hitting the raw dog is it feels nice, it's fun, but don't do that until you're married. And
You know what? And even look, and even after you're married, that doesn't mean that you're ready to have children with someone that you married. These are still discussions that need to be talked about.
right,
You
with
know,
the confines of a marriage, right? I mean, yes,
I mean, it's just
yeah,
not automatic. You're going to get married and we're going to have children. I mean, that's something that people need to talk about, and a lot of people don't talk about that.
I
And
mean,
then,
right. That's assuming that people get married and then kids are pretty much on the horizon. So I'm
right,
just saying, if you're going to engage in that type of sexual activity as far as raw dogging, then at least you know make sure that you're married. But if you get a vasectomy, fine, but you still gotta wear a condom because of STD. So you
right, exactly,
gotta wear one regardless.
right. You still got to protect yourself.
Hmm.
And I mean, I know a lot of married guys who decide they didn't like their spouse, but yet didn't protect their sperm and got them pregnant. And man, you talk about nasty. Don't have a woman pregnant and try to get a divorce or shortly afterwards, because a man gets no justice from that. They'd be like, oh, so you got her pregnant and now you want to leave her?
Yeah, it's not the most ideal situation
Woman,
to be in.
oh, so you got pregnant by this guy and now you want to leave him? No, they never ask those women that. It's
Yeah,
assumed that we are the assaulter during that transaction called sex because we have a shaft and they have, you know, a sweet potato. Like, this thing happens between two people, not just one. but they look at the men like we are the criminals of getting someone pregnant, whether it's rape, whether it's not rape, consensual.
Yeah, I mean, being that this is a patriarchal society and they still, by the way that they kind of rule on these cases, they make it seem like that we're still living in like pre 1965, as far as like women didn't have any access to the workforce, or or like didn't have the ability to kind of like own property, or whatever the case. So I mean, the laws have not been updated. It just still like assumes that the woman cannot live on her own, cannot provide on her own. So, but I don't see these laws even
There's
even
plenty of
modernized.
women, there's plenty of women in this country providing for themselves and their children without a man. There's plenty of women out here who provide for their children the little bit that they can by using public assistance.
Right,
Women taking care of children.
but the laws don't correlate to that reality, though.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, 100 years ago, a man automatically got custody of his children.
Yes. Yes.
Now, if a woman didn't want to be with that man anymore, she had to leave, but the kids got to stay.
Hmm.
And then he did go find another woman to take care of the home.
I think the default position should be 50-50 custody, and then on a case by case basis, then they could kind of divvy out, as far as how much the kids can be with the mom and with the dad, and it's all about their availability as far as work schedule, the kids schedule. But just to kind of make it, for the most part, women taking majority of the custody, with them spewing out that today is supposed to be like a more equal society. And I mean, it is equal,
It's not equal.
but as far as in the court system, it doesn't really pan out that way. So, but it's going to take a lot in order for this to kind of like transform. But I mean, I don't see it happening, at least in my lifetime.
You know what? If we were meant to be equal, men and women, then we all will be born with the same organs, the same, characteristics. We are not the same. You know, all these people on this earth now are trying to say that men and women are equal. We will never be equal.
Well, equal as far as equal, like life for life. We're all equal, but when you add variables of, as far as like social economic status, race, education, net worth. I mean, so many variables come into play, because like I'm not equal with LeBron James. I mean, as man to man, yes, we are equal as humans, but as far as out in the real world, I mean, he has access to like many things than I will ever have. So
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he's better than you.
no, I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying that we're just not equal. He has way more clout and power than right now. As far as I mean, I'm just like a regular dude working a regular 9 to 5, working for the government. But
Yeah, but yet someone sprayed the N word on his garage. Has that ever happened to you?
no, and I'm still waiting to find out who ended up spray painting nigger on his gate. I mean, I thought it was a hoax. I think his team probably set that up. Because if you live in one of the safest zip codes in the U.S. and someone sprayed nigger on your gate, I mean, you got to have at least 50 cameras in the area to kind of find out who did it. And
I mean, Michael Jordan ain't got a whole lot of cameras at his gate, and I've taken many pictures there and taking people there, and no one ever stopped us from doing that.
I mean,
All I'm saying, look, all I'm saying is this: you can be Malcolm X, you can be Muhammad Ali, you can be Martin Luther King. Look at what happened to those men, those great men. They were all chastised by society for their beliefs and being equal to the rest of society, but they were never treated that way. And I'm telling you, that when I go walk around this earth so far, most people don't even know that I'm black and white. They think I'm Hispanic.
Or
So
Eric, if you grow a beard.
all I'm saying is this: when you walk out your door, you can have $1 billion like Jay-Z, or you could be a bum. Doesn't make Jay-Z better than a bum. You're still breathing. You're still experiencing life episodes. You're still doing what you do. You know, whatever
I
you would put
understand
on.
that, but like Jay-Z has the benefit of the doubt over the homeless man.
No, bro, he from Marcy Projects.
No, I'm saying Jay-Z. I'm talking about Jay-Z of 2020, 2021. Like Jay-Z, he's a
Yeah, but
billionaire.
his origin. Look where he started from.
Right. I get that.
Started from the mud, and look at him now.
I mean, even while he was in the mud, he was on a higher social clout because of his ability to like sell drugs. So he had money in the hood. He had power.
Yeah, but that's not what he wanted though.
You
That's
said
why
what?
that's not what he wanted though. That's why he changed his environment. That's why he changed the game.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. I mean, Jay-Z was chosen to like be who he is.
Look, he knew just like a whole bunch of other smart brothers out here that know that if you do that type of work for so long, you're gonna end up in prison.
Right.
So
That's
change
retired
the game.
and to be a dope boy. All right,
Right,
I get it. Yeah.
right. I mean, LeBron James is from the hood. Hell, you know, they still be talking about how he was getting all this money before he even got, into the NBA. Why? Because you got vultures out there trying to get some of his. Well, I'll give you something, I'll give you a little something so I get something back in return. Um,
Yeah, that's how the game works. I mean, like many blue chip athletes, they get paid under the table before they even get set foot on the campus.
yeah, well, they changing that now too.
As
Now
far as now they getting paid.
yeah, they say they can pay them. You know what? I think they deserve to get paid something
Mm-hmm.
for all the hard work.
Yeah.
If they don't, they've been slaves all these years with the hope of becoming a gladiator.
You know what? I'm kind of on the fence about that situation because I won't call them slaves. I mean, that's just a strong word to like call these student athletes, but I mean they do have access to a college campus where tuition is through the roof. They're playing on scholarship. They're traveling to different schools to like play different games, and they got TV exposure. I mean, there is a monetary value to that on top of them having a free education. So as far as them getting paid, I mean, if it was up to me, if I was Thanos and if I was to kind of like come up with some type of like fair system, I would just have them put money in a trust for them and they can access it until maybe like a few years post college.
Okay, so this would be my proposal that they get a per diem, a certain amount of money that's allotted to them to take care of themselves while they're working for these universities and these different sports programs. It's like, yeah, I was watching a program a couple of years ago where some of these athletes had to pay for their own room and board to go over to Wilmington to play tennis. So you mean to tell me that all these people, they got all this money, Rolex and all the other sponsors, don't even put them up in a hotel or someplace where they can like relax and do their craft. So it's almost like Gladiator. They went and got him, and he was down there in the damn caves. And I'm not saying they're living in caves or not living like that, but a lot of them can't afford it
Yeah, but college tennis doesn't generate revenue. College tennis doesn't generate revenue,
at all.
not at the same pace as basketball, football.
I mean,
Sometimes the World Series of college World Series.
baseball does. You know what? If you are up and coming star, then yes, the sponsor are paying to put you on their limelights, and they're making a whole lot more money than some of these athletes are making.
And
And
plus
it
the whole
almost
time,
it's almost like slavery. It's like, you know what? Run, nigga, run.
yeah.
Catch that football. You know, because if you don't do it and you don't meet their expectation, what happens? They stop viewing you, and on to the next one.
You got to keep in mind that with Title IX, when these powerhouse like programs like football and basketball, when they generate all this revenue, they split that revenue with the other sports within the universities so that they could get some scholarships. But the money makers are basketball and football for the most part. I mean, it's not gonna be fair across the board. So
For
go ahead.
some, you got um, you have certain universities who, they specialize in football. That's their program. Other ones is baseball. Other ones basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, you know, all the sports. It all depends on how much money you got. Just like I was just watching the whole college scandal thing, where they were bringing all these rich people in and playing, and they were on teams that they actually weren't even participating in sports with, just so they can get into that school and get tutors to help them get through college so they can get a degree and make money.
Are you
And
talking about,
it's been going on ever since they built Harvard University and other universities around this country.
the admission scandal?
It's not a scandal. It's a situation that's been going on for centuries. You got elite people with money that
Mm-hmm.
will can get their kids into certain schools because they can pay people under the table.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're acting like this is something that was new. This ain't new.
Also, you got the blue chip black athletes that's also getting extra help in order to get their assignments in.
Right.
So it works both ways.
Yeah, it does. Just like, I was watching a documentary on Bill Duke, where he was
Okay.
talking about how he used to walk around and used to cover his face from being black. But yet he went to a small um, university out in the middle of nowhere, and he said that's when he excelled in his life
Yeah,
because
Bill Duke is over 80 and he grew up in a way different time. So
he did. But yet you still have people doing the same thing today.
mm-hmm.
You got some people who are ashamed of their skin complexion or the way they were brought up. I mean, like I said, me as an example. More people, when they see me, they speak Espanol to me than anything else.
Well, you need to
And
learn Spanish.
I should learn it?
Yeah.
Why? Just because they want me to? My parents tried to teach me Arabic. I didn't want to learn that language either.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and I got an Arabic name. I probably get along a lot more with Arabic people than Spanish people.
How fluent is your dad in Arabic?
I don't know.
Like, if you was to guess, is he okay? Is he below average? Is he above average or what? If you was to guess.
It's not a guess. He knows how to say prayers in Arabic, but to speak a language with another Arabic person, now I don't think he can do that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, because
There's certain words you can say to Arabic people, just like Spanish people or anyone else on this planet. And you can say "que paso" to someone if they understand what you're talking about. Okay, you got a little bit, but I cannot have a full conversation with anyone in any different language except for English. And I don't think that my father or a lot of other people can do that. They know certain words so they can respond to it, and that's learned behavior. I mean, you can learn how to, say, certain things to people in certain languages, and like Assalamu alaikum. Most people don't know what that means. And most people in America are offended by that word. But it's a word of peace.
Does it mean peace and blessings?
Yes.
Okay. I think I learned that years ago, but yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But most Americans, they look at it as an insult. Like, you're speaking.
They think it's like a terrorist roll call or something.
Right. Yeah. Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. Like, okay, you're saying that God is the greatest. Mm-hmm. Don't everyone else believe that too?
Yeah, everybody believes their God is the right God. So.
Right. But yet most people are wrong about that because they are still doing what Islam got rid of a long time ago, which was multiple religions and multiple paganisms and all that. Mm-hmm. After Muhammad got rid of all that, they brought it all right back. So now we still got, people believing in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and Halloween. The last time I heard, they got churches that celebrate Halloween in church now.
Never really heard that.
I have. Down the south in Memphis, they used to have Halloween parties just to keep them away from Halloween. It was like a private Halloween party in like a basement church.
As far as Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, I don't mind my kids believing in that. I mean, it just gives them something to like look forward to every year. But like after a while, I mean, every kid kind of grows out of it. I don't think it's a huge deal with like adults like worshiping those holidays like that. And now I do understand that when it comes to Easter, it just seems like every black church is like packed. I mean, black people value Easter Sunday. Black people value Easter Sunday as much as they value like the 4th of July. Now it looks like Juneteenth is gonna be added to the mix. Now, what do you think about Juneteenth?
So what I think about it?
Yeah.
I think it's the second coming of letting people know that they were free, and some of them still don't believe it.
So people are still shackled in the mind, and they don't realize that in 2021, this is America, and you can pretty much kind of achieve whatever you want to achieve, but people still got this white boogeyman over their shoulder, thinking that they can't achieve anything. Like as far as education, as far as professional or whatever in life. It's I just hate when black people just resort to that type of talking point, like, oh man, the white man's on my back. I mean, to me, I just think that you are really a slave in your mind if you're gonna go through life like that.
Well, you know what? You think they didn't make Juneteenth a national holiday a couple days before the trial and the sentencing of that police officer up in Minnesota? That
is there a correlation?
Of course, it is a correlation. Look, listen to what I'm saying to you here, okay? This is important for the audience. You see Black Lives Matter out there protesting right now after that little sentence that police officer got, after he put his knee on a black man's neck for 9.5 minutes, and people saw that throughout the whole entire world, and he only got he's going to do 15 years. The black man that killed my brother, Mahame Kareem, got sentenced to 41 years. And they say he's going to do 17 of those 41 years. And that was without video. That was it was what DNA evidence basically is what he was convicted of. And he wasn't even the killer. He was not the shooter. And he got 42 years, 41 to 42 years. This man was on videotape, nonchalant. And Black people are disappointed. Like y'all thought something different was going to happen. Like he was going to get life. They don't give those people life. For what?
Now, as far as with this case, are you looking at it through a lens of because he's a white man or because he is part of the Blue Lives Matter?
I'm looking at it from a Blue Lives Matter point of view.
Okay.
You know, a lot of police officers in this country think that they are immune from killing people. And so far, they've been winning.
Well, they got what's that thing called? Like diplomatic immunity or something like that. So
And you know how you change that?
what's up?
You make a requirement for every police officer to get insurance. They have to get their own private insurance for being a police officer. Let me tell you something about a lot of these goddamn cops out here.
Oh, it's called qualified immunity. I just remember qualified immunity.
Qualified immunity. Well, you should qualify for insurance. And if you got too many excessive force complaints against you, then we're going to drop you as a carrier. We can no longer insure you. You know, these cities are paying out big paychecks for these police officers' action, and they're not making them accountable for their actions. And let's put it this way. If you kept on crashing your car, eventually your car insurance is going to drop you as a carrier because you're reckless, right?
Yeah.
That's how police officers should be looked at too.
Well, that's because I'm a private citizen. I mean, if I'm a cop that's getting into car accidents, I'm personally won't be responsible for that. As far as, from out of my pockets, it's going to come out of the taxpayers.
No, what I'm saying to you is, if you got State Farm insurance for police officers, and you have to be bonded by an insurance company for your actions, and you constantly beating people up, you constantly got numerous excessive force complaints against you, which I know personally police officers who have had excessive police or excessive force charges on them multiple times. And I'm talking black on black police officers on black people.
That's not a black on black interaction. That's a blue on black interaction.
Correct. Thank you. Because they don't think they're black, because they're blue.
I mean,
they think that.
I won't go that far. Yes, they are black, and I'm sure that they think that they are black, but because of the whole institutionalized and brainwashing of, I mean, just like us in the military. I mean, we were brainwashed in some aspect. Even when I went to Kuwait, into the Middle East, even though, like, in the back of my head, I knew that we went out there for the wrong reason, but still, when I put on the uniform, I mean, my whole thing was, okay, we got to complete the mission.
Yeah. But look,
Same way as police officers. I mean, I don't think that they not knowing that they're. I mean, if there's a black cop, I'm sure he knows that he's a black cop. But it's just the whole of the fraternal order police.
Yeah, but you know what? And unfortunately, I've seen this too many times in the military, and also, like I said, I know a lot of police officers, and a lot of those guys are in the military too. They're reservists.
Yeah.
And I worked in reserve programs, so I know these guys. And a lot of those black police officers, they're empowered by white police officers. Oh yeah, you know what? It's a thin blue line. You part of this team. You got to be, loyal to us.
Yeah.
But when they go out there on the street Half these Negroes be scared. They scared their own people. And then I'm telling you, see, I like to talk about things that people don't like to talk about, that they're uncomfortable talking about. It's a bunch of fucking cops out there are fucking scared ass motherfuckers. Every time they get out their fucking squad car, they fucking think someone's gonna kill them. So they always got their hand on their fucking gun. And they got that adrenaline running through their fucking body and shit. They scared ass motherfuckers. You know what?
Or could it be their training?
No, fuck that training. They scared. Half the motherfuckers scared. That's why they pull their gun, because they trying to intimidate someone who doesn't have a gun on them most of the time. How many black people actually pulled a gun on some of these guys and actually got killed? 10%, 20% of the time?
See, but that's the thing though, as far as part of their training, they don't want to take any risk.
And because they scared.
I mean, that could be a factor. That could be a factor because that's like the number one thing that they mention is that we're afraid for their life.
Look, cuz you are a Marine. You have been taught not to be scared of nothing, to go through the enemy and destroy everything. But what they can't teach you is when it's time to actually cross that line, what's going to happen? And most of those guys be scared. Anyone who says they ain't scared is a fucking liar. Sometimes scared saves your ass from being scared. It's called adrenaline. Mm-hmm. They don't talk about that shit. But most of these cops out here, they're like, oh, well, I got adrenaline. Look, what do they teach us to do? Never put your finger on the trigger unless you intend to shoot. But yet a bunch of them put their finger on the trigger and they be sitting there shaking and scared, and then the gun goes off. Oh my God. Oh, he had a gun or something happened. I feared for my life. I was scared. They sit there and tell you that. I was scared. Well, maybe you shouldn't have that job then if you're scared to do that damn job. It's a lot of cops out here who are scared. Every time they pull somebody over, they just be as scared as the person they get pulled over by. Can you imagine two people being scared? The victim and the victimizer? And they both say the same thing. I'm the victim.
Yeah, it always baffles me. Like for like a simple traffic stop, if a cop pulls you over, you can be back at a squad car trying to like investigate your license plate, your driver's license, and next thing you know, 3 other squad cars just pull up. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
and then they pulling guns on you. They all come drawn. Hey.
No, I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but as far as in my case, I've been pulled over several times, and I noticed that aspect, but I mean, it never escalated. But I always thought that it was just a bad look for like several squad cars just to pull up, just to kind of like, just be at as backup for like a routine traffic stop. I'm not a threat. If you look up my information, I mean, I have nothing in my background, so there was no need for all that.
I went to High Park High School from 1984 to 1987. And I'll never forget, things were getting so bad on the South Side because that's when guns started showing up in niggas' pockets. That was when the fist fight stopped between 84 and 87. When nobody fighting no more, now all of a sudden you gotta have a knife, a gun, hell, whatever, a weapon. Mm-hmm. That's when, I'll never forget, they had this assembly at High Park High School, I believe it was in 1986. And they put us all up in this auditorium and the police got up there. It was mostly detectives in like blue jeans and they little shirts. And they said, look, let me tell y'all something. They said, all this gun violence is gonna stop because if it doesn't, we are gonna take over. And this one cop, he was a black cop, he was like, y'all think y'all tough? He was like, we are the biggest gang in the city of Chicago. The Chicago Police Department is the biggest gang and you cannot beat us. We out here looking for y'all. They were warning us. And I don't know who remembers that, but I know I wasn't in there by myself. So somebody remembers that conversation that they had with us, but they let us know you are not going to run around this city doing this, this, and this. We are the biggest gang, not y'all.
It's true. It's true.
But they openly said this in front of all of us to let us know who runs the city.
All right. Yeah, man. Chicago politics and police always been historically corrupt. So I mean, that's why they call it the Windy City. It's not because of the wind. It's just the politics shift like the wind. That's why we're the Windy City.
But your uncle, my father, the first thing he taught us was man training. Back when I was 14 years old, he taught us to never run from the police. If the police tell you to stop, don't run because they will shoot you in your back. And then they'll try to say that you had a gun or something on you. And I've never ran from the police ever in my life.
Good advice. Yeah, yeah. That was him having to talk with you all.
Right. No, he had man training with us. I mean, we
Yeah.
hated man training, but it was very happy.
Yeah, man. With me having girls, man, I got to give them like another type of talk. I'm sure my wife would kind of spearhead that talk with them because, it's gonna be mostly women issues. But yeah, of course, I'll tell them how to navigate through high school and college, and
And guys,
especially on the college campus. Just to kind of let them know, like, hey, if you're gonna go to a frat party, sorority party, do not let someone hand you a drink. You get your own drink. Do not put yourself in a situation where you're going to go to someone's dorm at odd hours of the night. If you want to do a study group, don't go to some guy's dorm and study at midnight.
right,
You know what time it is.
right.
Like shit like that. I'll kind of like drop game on them, but eventually they'll learn on their own, and all I could do is just let them know about the pitfalls, and hopefully they'll listen and go from there.
But well, I did meet my deadline for my book, which was Father's Day. Things happen, but I'm hoping that the book that I'm about to release, along with a couple other ones, are going to help these younger generation understand that you have to take care of yourself first before you take care of anybody else. And
Yes.
everything that you do in this life is about you. Like your life is important. And if you messing with the wrong people, they will help you destroy your life.
Hey, can you get a people as far as like a preview of what your book is going to be and when you expect for it to come out?
I had to get it re-edited because I'm not a very great writer. So I had to have a writer look at it. But my first book is about male responsibility. And it's about accountability for your actions as a man. And if you don't protect your sperm cells correctly, you will pay for that shit for the rest of your life. On a negative side, not positive, on negative.
Mm-hmm.
Second book is about women. A woman is only born with about 1 million eggs in her ovaries. Only about a third of those are actually going to be come to full maturity. But are you going to waste your eggs on some, sorry dude that don't really have anything or can't contribute to your life or to your children's life? And then my third book is about young men being careful out here as far as not trusting men so much. There's a lot of men out here who prey on other men, just
So,
like women.
so
Like
it's more of an inner city thing where like people trying to get over on each other and not and not used to trusting each other.
No. I'm talking about sexual assault here. My third book is about men who have been sexually assaulted by men and women from young ages until their teenage years. And I've seen it happen. I'm going to talk about that in my book. I'm going to talk about how on a Navy ship, how you had a homosexual that was allowed to be flamboyant openly with people, and they did nothing about it. And he eventually raped another sailor on board that ship after things were talked about. Or I want to talk about these organizations of men who want to legalize having sex with young boys legally, or the cougars that prey on their sons' friends,
Right.
the teachers that prey on their students. And for some reason, no one's doing anything about it. It's become normal.
Damn.
And they don't think that these people have psychological problems, let alone they're criminals. You know, if you're a 16-year-old boy and you got a grown woman, you know, I mean, she's grown. You know, she's not a 16-year-old girl that's still trying to fill out. I mean, you're talking, you know, 25 to 30-year-old grown woman who knows what she wants. You know, her sexual appetite is at its peak, and then she's preying on a high school boy. And most of the high school boys think it's cool. Oh, you know, I got this grown woman after me. Yeah, what about everything else though after that?
Yeah, they don't realize the potential negative repercussions on that, but as far as like the as far as the optics, as far as the way you will look with your with your peers, whatever. But I mean, yeah, I think every boy just imagines that. I mean, they kind of like covet that,
Look,
right?
it's nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once you become mature, and I'm not talking about mentally mature, I'm talking about sexually mature. When a boy's about 14 years old, they start having different urges. But you have too many adults who are taking advantage of that. And even at a younger age before a boy or a young man is sexually mature, they're being molested by men and women. Don't you think that some of these men and women who've been molested at 5, 6, 7 years old may have accepted that behavior because that's what they were taught, or that's what was done to them?
Yes, repeated curse, repeated cycle, and as far as our community being mostly a matriarchal community where there's no male leadership, there's no masculine figure to kind of like make sure that stuff like that won't happen within a household.
Yeah, and a lot of these women, they look down upon the masculine males in the family.
You see, they think that being under a patriarchy, they think that that's more like being under servitude, being a slave. But that just the it just bad talking points, man.
You
But
know, they're almost not even talking points anymore.
well, they're mainstream now, so yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's like men are being accused of being toxic. You know, uh, the toxic masculinity that's always been there. Yeah, I was just having this conversation earlier. You know, the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, Joe Biden, all them, they're saying now it's okay to allow transgenders to get their surgeries done free of charge by the military. You can't even join the military if you have done any kind of transgender modifications. You can't join, but you can join, and then you can get your surgery done.
That's
So
kind of
when
bizarre.
when everyone else is going to train and going to school and going, to shoot, learn how to shoot or be on a ship or fly a plane or whatever, you got extra time in between that to go get your transgender surgery and then come back as something that you didn't show up as.
If you got flat feet, that could disqualify you. If you got hemorrhoids,
Right.
that could disqualify you. But you mean to tell me that they're paid for a sex change?
Yes, you're paying for it.
Damn.
Free of charge.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Look, I tell people all the time, if you join the military and become a transgender, then maybe you need to do something else in your life.
Oh, so they're joining for the purpose of having a sex change and then they'll just do their bare minimum of like enlisted years, and then they'll get out and just be some type of activist, huh?
I mean, they're becoming activists inside the ranks too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like being a new poster child. Just
It's,
like when they changed the uniform regs a couple years ago, and they let all the women start wearing the male uniforms.
like the camouflage or what?
Now I'm talking about the covers, the different uniforms. Like there was a time where women had different uniforms because they had a womanly like uniform on, and now they're wearing the male uniforms.
Since when?
Last 4 or 5 years.
I didn't know that. That kind of bypassed me.
A lot of people don't know that. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I don't even think they wear high heels anymore. That was a uniform issue. That was a uniform item some time ago.
Right.
But they wear male covers now. They wear the male uniforms. Now I'm talking about the dress uniforms. They don't wear the dresses anymore, as far as I know. Yeah, they've taken away the female uniforms for female military members.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. I mean, I'm kind of removed from the whole um dress standards or camouflage. Yeah, dress, camouflage,
All right, so
um, Alphas, Bravos, Charlies.
so for the Marine Corps, the female cover that used to be on the dress blues, the combination cover,
Yeah.
they wear the combination cover just like the men do that.
Mm. Now, imagine I'm like 18 years removed from separating in '03. So,
Right.
yeah, that's crazy.
But what they're trying to do is, remember that movie G.I. Jane?
Yep.
And Demi Moore was on there, and she was the first Navy SEAL, female. And
Yeah.
then they were saying, oh, this is called gender norming. So she got a step to go over the burn, but all the other guys had to do it the real way. So like they still have those. Matter of fact, they still have the same standard for physical fitness.
I remember the women, they had to hold up on a pull-up bar for like a certain number of seconds rather. I think like hold on for like 60 seconds. They had to do the 3 mile run just like the man, and they had to do the sit-ups just like the man. The only
Yeah.
thing that was different was the pull-ups.
No, but they didn't have to do the same. They didn't do the run was different. The time was different.
As
And
far
so,
as how they score the time, right?
right. No, I'm
Right.
saying like the 3 mile run. And actually, I ran the 3 mile Marine Corps PFT. I did it in like 16 minutes, which was like pretty good. But the women had like 20 minutes to do it. And they also didn't have to do as many push-ups or sit-ups or pull-ups. Matter of fact, they had to do no pull-ups back then. All I'm saying is those standards haven't changed, but now the uniform standards have changed.
Mm.
And now they're putting women in positions where men have been in. But they haven't, there's certain standards that they haven't changed and they'll never change because they're not possible to change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some women can run faster than men, but most women can't. Especially if you had a baby. I've had Marines that had babies and they got big and then they had to get back in standards. And it was a struggle.
Right.
We don't have that struggle. We don't have babies. Our only struggle is stop eating so much or drinking so much or whatever whatever the guys do. But we don't get pregnant.
It was mostly the drinking that kind of put weight on the troops. The binge drinking that was the big issue right there.
No.
I mean, because like for the most part, you're still young, so you still got that quick metabolism. But as far as the drinking, literally from Thursday through Sunday, that's how you gain your weight.
Well, that and like I said, all whatever you're eating, look, there's a lot of parameters that come to this. I mean, none of this is simple, but I can tell you that the military's had more problems since 1995. And that's when they integrated women with men in combat units and onboard ships. You know why they had more problems? Because there's a lot more sex going on.
Yeah, of course, it's going to happen. I mean, when you got a ship of like 600 men and just 10 women, I mean, shit. The women are red meat.
You know what? Yeah, I was on a ship where we had like 3 females and like 200 males on there. But the difference was this. Those ships had officers on them. And those female officers weren't having sex with the guys. You know why? Because they wanted to get ahead. So they already knew that I can't do this because if I do this, I'm going to be looked at as a whore. I'm going to be ashamed as an officer, and they're going to kick me out the military.
Or if they did get it in, it was likely with an officer. They can't get in with no enlisted.
Oh no! What me to do now? I mean, it's a free for all now.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
come on back then.
I'm saying now. Right now. Oh man, look. These military people don't have any shame. I mean, gay, straight, officer, enlisted. Look,
They had a term for that. Fraternization, right?
Yeah, that policy is pretty much gone away.
That is
There's a lot of
sustained.
fraternization going on in the military right now.
Oh shoot.
Matter of fact, it's a lot of people, and some of them are getting away with it by getting married to each other now.
Well, you can't say nothing in. I mean, if they got papers, it's nothing you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you find out some of them still got boyfriend and girlfriends in the background somewhere.
Now, can you still get in trouble if you're caught being an adulterer? Yeah, because they were very like strict on that. Like if you're a married person, whether a man or a woman, and like if you cheat and if the spouse was to kind of like call the command and kind of like spill the beans, I mean you can have the NJP process on you. I mean it was strict back then. Of all the stories that I heard about, I mean obviously I didn't get married. I was in the military, but I just heard all types of stories that was going on.
I heard about was mostly people of color.
Well, you said what?
People of color.
You saying the blacks got in trouble more?
There's no question about it. Yes, they did. Matter of fact, that was the reason to look. Easy. That was an easy way to get rid of your ass. Oh, you want to mess around? Oh, they'll kick you out.
Well, back then, it wasn't such thing as a black person or a white person. We were all green.
That's what they said.
They called us dark green. They called white people light green.
What? That was the easy way to say, yeah, we still calling you black.
Right. They just couldn't say black.
Right. Look, that's what people do, man. They change words.
Yeah.
Change words.
I
Oh,
mean,
he's a dark green Marine, or he's a light skinned Marine, or he's a a light Marine. Motherfucker, okay, so he's white, black, and I'm in between.
now, but the military, they always had words for like different things. Like food was chow, the bathroom was the head. Um, anything was trash. I mean, they just had words for every single thing.
Yeah.
So
If he was a dark green Marine, shit, he was a nigga. I'm just saying. Oh no, look, and I want to talk about that word too. The word nigga and nigger.
okay.
You know, some black folks is ignorant. They's really ignorant. Our grandpa, Cora Washington, used to call me Noah. You know why she called me Noah?
Why?
Because she couldn't pronounce the word R, nor, which is my name.
Mm-hmm.
So all those Southern niggers that couldn't say the word R start saying nigga. And then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, and all these black people.
That is a hot take.
No, it's not a high take. I'm telling you. But you know what? You don't live in the South. A lot of people down south here they don't use the letter R like it sounds like an A. It's a pronunciation issue.
So,
okay?
so by mistake, black people just pretty much made up nigga.
No, they didn't make it up. They couldn't fucking say the word nigger. So they said nigga.
Mm.
I'm telling
I
you.
never heard that before ever.
Okay, well, come down south.
Well, maybe she was calling you Noah based off the Bible.
I'll tell you
You
what.
ever thought about that?
You know what? How many people call you Mr. or Mr.?
I hear both.
Exactly.
I hear both. Yeah.
Pronounce your name differently because the R, they cannot pronounce it. So they say Mr. versus Mr.
You know
Like,
what? I gotta run this by your dad, and I gotta run it by Aunt Willa, just to kind of get that take on it.
look, my father, I'm glad you said that. He, if you get him to try to say something with the R on the back of it, he's gonna say with the A.
Oh man.
Bruh, black men and women are going around here calling each other nigga when really they call each other nigger.
Yeah, but each word has a different meaning though. Like nigga is more of a term of endearment. Nigger,
No,
nigger. No, it's just the way that we use it. It's just the way that we use it.
bro, that's bullshit. Please. What the fuck you say, nigga? They say shit in a negative fucking light. They don't say
Yeah.
this shit. But
Yes, it has many connotations.
my nigga. But that's what the white people say. My nigger. That's my nigger. My nigga. Come on, man.
Yeah, it has different contexts. I get it, but black people use it differently than other races.
That's bullshit. Because you know what?
It's just the
Most
same way while we turn scraps into soul food meals. It's the same way.
but yet they're still eating soul food now.
And we still saying nigga.
Right. Just like back then.
Right.
Cuz, let me ask you something. Do you eat chitlins?
I used to. I haven't eaten it in over 20 years
Why not? Or why don't you eat it?
because I've evolved and came across the education of what it really was, and I was like, oh, I ain't eating this no more.
Okay. Some of us have still not come to the realization that when you use the word nigga, you really calling your brother a nigger
I
because it
mean,
pronunciation. Look, please, it's a mispronunciation of a word, and when most guys tell other guys, "Nigga, please," what you say to me, nigga? They calling each other niggers.
yes, yes, they are, but it's under a different context.
It's not. It's not out of love. Most of the time, it's out of hate. Just like white people hated us. Look at them niggas over there.
Yeah, but the way that they use it, it's like a different meaning. The way me and my boys would use it when we're watching football, drinking in a man cave, and we're gonna use it in a different meaning versus David Duke would.
So, so you mean to tell me you think that there's the middle class black people that call us niggas all the time? Like they say in a way that's obligatory, or it's a good thing.
As far as middle class blacks, as far as the way that they view the word,
Or upper class blacks. When they call you a nigga, they ain't saying that shit because they love you, because they see you as being, the motherfucker on the fucking plantation type of nigga.
hey, speaking of that, hey, speaking of that, why don't you hear this real quick? Fee-fi-four-figure boy, I hate a nigga. That came from one of Chris Rock's stand-ups.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how there was a civil war between black people and niggas. So I think you was kind of drawing a parallel as far as the way elite or upper class, middle class blacks, if they was to use the word nigga, they'd be like, oh, what are them niggas doing? As far as the way that they kind of look at the lower class black. So
Yeah, look, it's no different than the vice president of the United States right now and her view on reparations. She said that reparations should be paid according to your class that you have evolved from to today. So if you never ever did anything for yourself, you should get less than those who have actually went to college and became degreed and did other things. So basically, reparations is going to be a class system too. If you upper class, you're going to get $1,000,000. If you lower class, you're going to get 100,000. Whatever what is. But she ain't even black.
well, that's a pipe dream. I mean, we ain't gonna never get reparations.
I mean, I ain't waiting for it.
Right. I'm not waiting for it either, but yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna come into fruition. So yeah. At least not in my lifetime. Maybe my grandkids would get it, but I'm definitely ain't getting nothing.
But you know what? They're not going to get it.
Right. I mean, I'm not counting on them to get it, but I'm just saying it's up to me to make sure that my daughters and my grandkids are going to be set up at least for the next 3, 4, 5 generations.
Let's think about seven. Seven generations is probably about right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, we're still trying to figure out who we're going to elect in 4 years from now or 3 years from now.
I'm kind of checked out of politics. I mean, these folks don't give a damn about the people. I mean, I'm not really talking about for black people. I'm just talking about like the people in general. They just don't care.
They don't. And they're not going to start caring until things start changing in their lives. When things are taken away,
Hmm.
or they don't have the same rights, or they pass these gay right bills, and then now all of a sudden you're going to have even more child molesters running around raping your children or kidnapping them. Then they're going to say, oh my God, what was we thinking about back then?
You know, I saw something like that on TED Talk about how like there's like a fringe group of people who's trying to make the P word normal. But I need to investigate that video. We could probably talk about that on next go round.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I'm not really sure if that was really like a real TED Talk or if that was like a fake one, but I have to do my research just to kind of see if this group is trying to be more mainstream because I mean when you open Pandora's box, when you going to allow the LGBTQ to like run amok, then something like this will happen because now they think that they deserve a voice. They want their views out mainstream and normal. But yeah, I will investigate that more, and then we'll kind of talk about it later.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, cool, man. Hey, thanks for this video, man. And is there any parting words you want to give out to the people?
And look, man, be careful out there. Y'all have a really hard job to do. It's called navigating through life without being molested by certain people or your views or their views put on you as far as your masculinity. If you're a masculine male, stay that way. Don't let nobody change you in who you are. Hell, you know what? If they got rid of look, just imagine this. We let all the women and gay people take over the military in the protection of the United States. What you gonna think is gonna happen? The Chinese and the Russians gonna walk up in here. They ain't gonna fight for this motherfucker. They're gonna come in here and walk in this bitch.
Yeah, well said, man. I mean,
No,
true masculinity makes the world go around, and we must protect it. We must
you cannot live on this earth without true masculinity, without men with testosterone who are willing to fight for you, fools.
we're willing to die for it. We're willing to die for it as well.
Get rid of all the masculine men. What's gonna happen after we gone? They're gonna just walk in and take over all y'all.
Yeah, I mean we're talking you know caveman, Viking, barbarian type shit. So hopefully that won't happen. But you know we're just trying to sound the alarm. So but yeah, man. Yeah, this is Robert Chief Bullhead, Cornastore Podcast. Appreciate the video, man, and we signing out. Have a good one. All right, man. Peace.